Hello, dear friends. Here we are, 40 Nights with the Promised Consoler. This is day or night 25. Wow, 25 days together in this. Actually, we're past 120 days total. And this is chapter 34 from the book Luz Acima by Humberto de Campos, or Brother X, through the medium Chico Xavier. And here we are together with you in a single opportunity. It is a blessing, friends. It is. You know, many people think that humility is about hiding themselves in a cave from the spotlight of the contact with people. But actually, humility is when we use the resources we can and fulfill God's will, knowing that God is the one that gives us and grants us everything that we need to do what we need to do, right? And we are welcoming you here in this night with the Promised Consoler, because our dear Master Jesus is the friend, divine friend. As Humberto de Campos says, he is very, very, very friendly and very kind. And we're very thankful to Carol McVeigh for saying that our system was working. Yes, we were testing, Carol, because we're having technical issues. But now, through you, we know it's working. And we actually got to know through other resources that it was working. But thank you for writing to us. And you know, we have this beautiful community here, a community that has been committed to being together internationally. Before I begin, I would like to share with you that this May 5th in Orlando, Florida, there will be the 11th U.S. Spiritist Symposium. And it's all about reincarnation. We have speakers from every single part of the United States coming over, sharing their deep studies. These are not trivial talks. These are people who commit to deepening the teachings like scholars. You know, when we have scientific meetings, people who funnel their teachings, their studies, and that's what we're going to do there. And we think it's worthwhile for you to making the trip, not only to listen to the talks, but mostly to also rejoice in the learning and mingling with the people, getting to know one-on-one. But if you want, you can also come with us and help Kardec Radio there, and also help the United States Spiritist Federation in all of its tasks. Friends, it's very, very important that you try your best to be there. And I say this because it's the opportunity that you're gonna have to getting to know of the Spiritist practice. As Jussara Korngold said to us yesterday, we're gonna have this opportunity of having the fraternal counseling being offered right there, and many other things, unprecedented services also being offered at the United States Spiritist Federation, the meeting that is organized by them. Okay, just go to spiritistsymposium.org. Also, do not forget, we've been receiving the donations by the friends to the group in South Africa, because it's hard for them to acquire the books. Go to the website kardecradio.com and get to know how you can make your donation. When you make a donation through money, when you click the button at Kardec Radio for the donation, you will see that it's going through the Spirit Set of Virginia. Why? Because Kardec Radio is attached as a department of it, though it's not restricted to the Spirit Society of Virginia, but the Spiritist Society of Virginia sustains, supports, and sponsors everything, the whole 9 yards of Kardec Radio, and the Spiritist magazine too. So, but the money you give for the books in South Africa is going straight to South Africa. It's not going to stay a penny at the Spirit Side of Virginia or Kardec Radio. Okay? Trust us. We're a nonprofit organization, and we keep all of our financial records open. Okay? So here we are, friends, an opportunity for us to get to know more about the teachings. All right? So today I'm gonna read the chapter. Before I do, let me say hi to the community. Hello, Katia. How are you? How are you? I'm trying to go back to the beginning to say hi to our friends, but for some reason I'm not getting there. And I have here Danny. Hello, Danny. And Erica, thank you so much. I got your message. You're gonna be there. Yippee! Wonderful. We need your help, friends. Raquel, gratitude to you. Thank you for being here. Andrea, Sunshine. Oh, okay. Okay, you're gonna be there, Sunshine? Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna be in touch with you. Hello, Valeria. How are you? Luciane Antoine. We have Carol McLean. Katia. Hello, Katia. Adilson. We have here also Carol and Mark Smith. How are you, friends? We've just seen each other. Today's Mark Smith's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mark. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you. Yes, Carol and Mark do fantastic work. Kardec Radio for Kids, Kardec Radio for Teens, Monday and Tuesdays. And soon, many other days of the week too, believe it or not. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Kardec Radio. So, how are you? Constance Franklin, how are you? Cesa, how are you? Margaret, how are you? And here we have, okay, we're trying the system. And if I missed any names, please write it down, because my system here, for some reason, has a glitch. Okay? But if you want to help at the symposium, please write to us. But I will tell you, this symposium is unique. Every symposium is fantastic, but this one, about reincarnation, let me share something with you. Kardec, did you know that Allan Kardec, when he discarnated, he brought a message through a medium. Now he was the discarnate spirit, bringing a message through a medium, and through a medium he said, there will be a day in which spiritists and spiritualists are gonna be on the same page, and they're gonna be on the same page the day they accept the concept of reincarnation. I remember when Dr. Alexander Moreira from Brazil, visiting us in Lilydale, New York, we were there in a special event with Divaldo Franco and others. He brought this message to us. Jussara and I were there, and we read this message right there for the spiritualists. So I tell you, this unique theme of the symposium this year is very meaningful, because every symposium is programmed by the spiritual realm, and it's the opportunity for us to do our part sharing this good news, right? Go spiritisymposium.org, May 5th. It's one day in Orlando, Florida, but it's the day. Beautiful day. Hello, Ale. Hello, Angelita. Friends, back to the Master, the Consoler. Chapter 34, book Luz Acima, not yet in English. The title is On the Christian Rise, but the goal is spiritual stability. How so? You want to know? You know, today's Mark Philip Smith birthday. He is Carol Correa's husband. He is the one that hosts Kardec Radio for kids and teens with her. And believe it or not, this message is about Philip. Philip, Mark's middle name is Philip, and here's Philip. So Mark, I know you're listening to this with Carol. Believe it or not, today the message is about Philip and the Master Jesus. Philip, the old fisherman who was faithful to the Nazarene prophet, often meditated on the greatness of the gospel. One day, he began to think over it into his own soul. He said to himself, the good news was undoubtedly a divine mountain, too high of a divine mountain, considering the vulgarities of common existence. The Master was undoubtedly the ambassador of heaven. However, the principles of which he was a bearer were far too transcendent. How to face difficulties and solve them? He who followed the Lord step by step went through immense obstacles in order to follow him with faithfulness and purity. Moments arose in which suddenly Philip saw the promises of inner improvement, and he formulated to himself shattered. The rise of the gospel is almost impractical. The Savior's ideals, hopes, and goals remained exceedingly distant from his eyes. If the obstacles of the spiritual journey hindered him in his heart, what would not happen to those who were unaware of the truth and more fragile than himself? For that reason, from time to time, Philip inquired the celestial friend, questioning him. Persuasive and sweet, Jesus clarified, Philip, do not let yourself be subjugated by such thoughts. It is indispensable to implement superior standards with the revelation from above, by inspiring the travelers of the alley and by stimulating them as much as necessary. If we do not unravel the beauty of the pinnacle, how will we educate the spirit that crawls in the swamp? Do not unthinkingly despise the light that shines beyond. But Lord, Philip acquiesced, the sincere companion. Lord, isn't it fair to grade the different views? The love we seek is universal and infinite, but most individuals, however, suffer this narrow-mindedness and incomprehension. Many individuals come to hate and persecute as if they practice excellent virtues. There are philosophers who consume life and time, enthroning those who can tyrannize. It is reasonable, therefore, to diminish the light of the revelation, lest it overshadow the understanding of the people. In the course of time, our followers would take care of more extensive information. Benevolent, the Christ smiled and added, if the redemptive ideas of our teachings are brilliant nuclei from above, acknowledge that the mind of the world is perfectly capable of understanding and materializing them. It is not the crown of the mountain that disturbs the plain. If obstacles appear, preventing us from climbing, such difficulties belong to us. A star always benefits people, inviting us to high reasoning. However, it never bothers anyone. So do not curse the light, because every obstacle in the edification of the celestial kingdom is within ourselves. The older brother penetrated the terrain of the long inner perquisitions and concluded by stating, "But Lord, how I longed to understand all that you've just explained." Jesus was silent in the usual meditation. And one day, Philip and Jesus were preparing to reach the heights of Hermon in a long and laborious journey when the apostle, still at a low altitude, began to admire, dazzled, the glimpses flowing from the mountain range. The greenish and flowery veil had finished. They advanced into the steep path. Now the landscape was bare and dry. Little pointed pebbles filled the path. Despite rising slowly, Philip paused every so often, sweating and restless. He sat at the banks in order to clear the tiny stones that sneaked through his sandals. He spent time and patience to locate them between his injured fingers. Dozens of times they stopped suddenly, with Philip repeating the operation and conquering the eminences of the mountain, bathed by the sun in the prodigious vision of the nature surrounding him. When the master, who always used direct observations to fix and repeat the lessons, he explained softly, softly. "As you observed, Philip, it was not the brightness from above that made our march difficult, but the modest pebble from the ground. The radiant day has never done anything wrong, but often the little matters of the world interrupt the journey of individuals to God, our Father. Almost always, in order to proceed in the direction of high and sovereign duty, our soul requires the cooperation of others, as much as the feet need the protective sandal from these rugged paths. All difficulty in ascension lies in the insignificant problems of the path. So, in the human path, the most intimate questions, if driven by imprudence, can strike the heart hard. Watch the minute of the lecture, the irresponsible opinion, the precipitated gesture. They become poisonous pebbles that cut our feet, threatening our spiritual stability. Now, do you understand the importance of trifles in our daily endeavor? The Galilean fisherman shook his head meaningfully and replied with satisfaction, "Yes, Master, I understand. Now I understand, he said. How about us? Do we? Unbelievable. Every time we read these chapters, we feel like this amazement, because these are lessons that we've never heard before, though they overlap the revelations in the New Testament. But they had so much more. It's the promised consoler. When Jesus said, I cannot tell you everything, but one day I'll send you the promised consoler that will tell you everything that I cannot say now and will stay with you until the end of times. These messages, the promised consoler. It's Jesus that comes back in these revelations by the spirits, a work at four hands, that discarnates and incarnates, like a beautiful four-hand piano song, that discarnates and the incarnates together, playing. And you know, this is teamwork. And you may ask, but Vanessa, come on. But it's Jesus. Yes, but Jesus works in teams. So do we. Like Kardec Radio. Kardec Radio is a teamwork effort. It doesn't happen through one person. A Spiritist Center. It's a teamwork effort. A company, a family. It's teamwork effort. First therapeutic question for you and I. Where are your team work skills? What is the one you think we need to polish to be better at team working? Because the secret of this divine connection is to learn how to work in teams. And it's great. Some people say, oh, but it's so hard. But friends, it's the best part of life. What do you think you need to do to surrender to teamwork effort? If you want to create a group where you are, the first thing we need to do is to acknowledge other people's skills and see the divine in them. But if I want to be the center, it's going to be hard to form a group. And that's why Spiritist centers are a blessing. Religious communities are blessings, because it's this training of the social skills. Right, Duska? Right. Thank you, Danny. Danny is reminding us. Thank you for correcting me. It's May 6th, the symposium, United States Spiritist Symposium in Orlando, Florida, this year. Come on. And you know, we're doing this campaign at Kardec Radio. If you want your free ticket, flight, airline ticket to Orlando, it's simple. Put together a video with your phone answering these two questions: why you like Kardec Radio and why you think God is just and loving when He created the phenomenon of reincarnation. Why? Answer these two questions creatively and send it to us at Kardec Radio. We'll be happy to grant you 2 tickets we are giving away, okay? It ends on April 18th, 2017. Go back. First of all, Philip, very faithful, practicing meditations, and he realizes this message of the good news is fantastic, but it's too much. The bar is too high. Do you think the bar is too high too? Philip thought the bar was too high. He was even proposing Jesus to not, sell it all. Just saying, people are not ready for this. It's so funny. Our human our human limitation when we come before the Master and we think that we know more than the Master. But they don't do those out of evil. It's just plain unawareness. But Jesus, very persuasive and kind. Look at the combination. We're learning nonverbal lessons. When he is inquired by the disciple, first, he's not defensive. Because usually we feel like, oh, I need to be defensive so people don't cross that barrier, keep the respect. But Jesus is the true coherent master. There's no need for defense. But he's persuasive and sweet at the same time. How often we're persuasive but not sweet? Or too sweet, not persuasive. Jesus combines both the masculine, persuasion, and sweetness, feminine, together. Best combination. Visualize it. Jesus persuasive and sweet, clarifying, telling us that do not let yourself be subjugated by such thoughts. So if you think these teachings are too difficult, too high to be achieved, don't go there, Jesus is saying. And he says, do not despise the light that shines beyond. No, no, no. And later, he benevolently smiled and continued. He said, do not curse the light, because every obstacle in the edification of the celestial kingdom is inside of us. And then they go for the trip, and Jesus observes that Philip is going through these obstacles, and he has his own feet being bothered. What is interesting as well is that Humberto de Campos never mentions in these texts that Jesus was experiencing the same. Okay? It's very interesting. Very interesting because he's showing to us from the angle of the one who is learning what was happening to him, because that's for a mirror for us. Today we're Philip. We're Philip struggling with the little pebbles of the way, the little stones, the little rocks. We're struggling with it. The light is there on the top of the mountain. That doesn't bother us. But to go through this pathway, the little tiny stones, what are they? Let us observe that the master of all masters, he always combines words with true illustrations. Today, I was doing this exercise that we were recommended yesterday by my mentor Joseph, by observing the lessons in nature, okay? And it's so interesting because this morning, taking Virginia to school, we saw 2 geese by the green grass on our right, and they were together. And I said, look, Virginia, what do you think they're doing? Oh, they're talking to each other. And they were so composed, so elegant in their posture, so in unison with one another, in a true respected relationship. And that's nature inviting us when we are with a friend, you know, in the car, at home, at work, in the center, if possible. Focus, be mindful. The geese were mindful, but elegantly mindful. By the way, elegant and mindful. And that's the take on it. So we need to do more of this practice of Jesus. Observe nature, that according to the superior spirits, in nature, in the other kingdoms besides the human kingdom, we have this perfect expression of the instincts. There is no free will yet. So it's beautiful because it's this instinct of the intelligent principle being guided by superior minds, guiding the kingdoms to greater knowledge and also inspiring us. As Kardec said in the Spirit's book in the first chapter, first part, when we contemplate nature, we have the lessons and the proof of God's existence. Spring is blossoming, starting today. Today is the first day of spring in the North Hemisphere. In the South, it's the first day of fall. Beautiful as well, both. But let us walk around nature. Contemplate whether driving, whether walking, running, or seated from a window. Let us observe and ask, if Jesus were here now, what would he teach me? Maybe the answer to my inner questions are in nature just around me. For example, if you're living the fall right now, lesson of let go. Summer, we want to be there, so radiant. But fall is calling us to let go. Let go. A tree needs to let go of the leaves. Look at a tree that, for some imbalance of nature, doesn't let go of the trees, of the leaves. They stay dry, connected to it. It doesn't look good at all. Right? Though nature is beautiful in any way, but just as an analogy to us, fall is about letting go. Spring is about blossoming our creativity. Are you ready for spring? For blossoming the divine in you? Not saying that the fall isn't either, it is. But in nature we find the peculiar lessons. And here we have Jesus teaching Philip that the brightness from above, the message of the gospel, does not make it any harder, our journey. Some people, they start the Spiritist teachings, the Spiritist message, studying, going to the center, and they say, but you know, Vanessa, my life became harder now. I'm seeing things I've never seen before. My life was more peaceful. No, not true. Now you're seeing. Why? Because the rain is gone. You can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see no obstacles on my way. But in this case, the Spiritist message is the light of discernment. It shows what's happening in our life. It has been there. It was there before. But we didn't pay attention. We didn't know. It's like a baby. The baby is there. There are letters. They don't care. But one day, they grow. They start paying attention to letters. It's another phase. Are they going to be upset? Oh, when I was a baby, I didn't mind about not reading. Now I have to read, but I don't know how. Right? No, we embrace it. It's a new challenge. Jesus taught us to see the positive always. So, okay, Welcome, challenge. Welcome to my life. Welcome. What is in store for me here? What am I to learn? Philip was learning, as Jesus said, that the greatest obstacles come from us, from the insignificant problems of the path. Now, this is the culmination of our study tonight. The greatest obstacles, Jesus is saying quite clearly, they are not in the great achievements, they're in the little things. Like what? He says, when we are not cautious, not prudent, it's like this. We're living in a country and somebody says, hey, come here. Come live here. Yeah, my life is not good. And you pack and go. But you forgot to plan for your paperwork, to plan what we're going to do with your stuff in your original country, etc. Then you move and you start realizing, oh my God, I left my family, I left my job, what was I thinking, blah, 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 blah. It all began with one apparently insignificant moment. He says here, it's that moment of one conversation and it changes your life. It's that little irresponsible opinion. Today I have a wonderful cousin, Erica's sister. She's celebrating 25 years of marriage. What an achievement. But if you ask her and her husband, it all began very likely in one look when they started looking at each other differently. And 25 years later, or more, they are married, together, have a beautiful family. Everything begins with one smile, one look, one word, right? One irresponsible opinion, and oh my gosh, people start seeing us differently. Right? Hello, Fatima, how are you? And Duska, how are you? And Andrea is saying, I love nature and special ocean creatures. The more we learn about spiritual things, the more conflicts we have, and it's great because we are with God best. But we don't have more conflicts because of it. No. As Jesus is saying, don't blame the light. No, no, no. When we are in the spiritual path, we're finally learning to read and write. We're learning the alphabet of life. So when we go from being illiterate, spiritually speaking, to having full literacy regarding spirituality, we cannot blame. No, no, no. We cannot blame the people who gave us those teachings or the teachings in itself. Spiritism is the light of discernment. It's going to illuminate your life and you're going to find the problems you've always had but you're not aware. The same for me. So Spiritism didn't bring me the conflicts. It showed me where the conflicts have always been. Right? And Jesus says, when we are impulsive and our precipitated gestures, they become the poisonous pebbles that cut our feet, threatening our spiritual stability. We want to be stable spiritually, but it's a conquest. It's a journey. And the little pebbles the little decisions we do, they can rock it out. So Mentor Joseph always says, Vanessa, silence. Pay attention to what you say, how you say. Because sometimes one mistaken word complicates relationships. One word. And that's what Jesus is saying. He says, one thing in our conversations with others, one irresponsible opinion, it's like this. When we look at people around and we say, oh, this world, and people are like, what? Oh, this world is terrible. And then you go home like, yeah, maybe she's right. And something happens. And you feel like, yeah, maybe Vanessa was right. No, Vanessa was wrong. What a wonderful world. Yes, this is the reality. The world is wonderful. Ask any astronomer who has a different lenses to see this world, the earth and the universe, and you'll be delighted. If you don't know any astronomer, just ask Mr. Google to introduce you to the universe. Just type it in, universe, and you see. You're feeling sad or depressed? Don't lose the momentum of feeling the beauty of the world. Go, Google, universe, cosmos, planets, galaxies, and you see what science has already revealed to us. Visualize the good, and then connect with the Spiritist teachings. If each and every world is inhabited and is here for the progress of spirits in different stages of evolution, suns and stars are possible places where pure spirits meet according to the Spirit's book by Allan Kardec. Then do the math. Do the math, my friend. And I bet at the end of it all, you're going to smile and smile and smile, and people are going to look at you saying and asking, what have you done? Did you do a plastic surgery and now you cannot stop smiling? Yes. It's the plastic surgery of the Christ. It rejuvenates us. And by the way, according to Elizabeth Blackburn, a Nobel Prize scientist, she proved to us that the more compassionate we are and we feel, the longer are some parts that are essential in our DNA, what she calls the telomeres. And when they are longer, you have longer lives. It's the secret to youth. Compassion. Compassion. One of the elements of charity. Compassion. Jesus is the master of compassion. So he's saying, be careful. Do not engage in discussions or arguments in our daily endeavor, because they are the ones, like the little rocks in Philip's feet when he was climbing the mountain. He was constantly stopping because the little pebbles. And they were the ones who were making him feel hurt. And at the end of the day, the light never bothered anybody. The gospel, the good news, as Jesus said, everyone in this world is perfectly capable of knowing it. And now Mentor Joseph is asking us to open a bigger parenthesis. For those who think that only Brazilians are capable of understanding the Spirit's message. Let's read chapter 34 of this book, Luz Acima, when Jesus says to Philip, okay? The mind of the world is perfectly capable of understanding and materializing these teachings. The world. It didn't say Brazil. It didn't say any other nation. It said worldwide. You happy? Me too. Me too. And that's why the celestial friend is clarifying with persuasion and sweetness, benevolence, and with a smile. He is giving all of us the opportunity to meditate deeply into the fact that we need to pay closer attention to our daily, apparently little actions. But as he says, they can become, if we're not vigilant, poisonous pebbles that cut our feet and threaten our spiritual stability. What do you think? You like it, Duska? Me too, me 3, me 4. Yes, me too. You are relieved, sunshine? Oh, yes. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Sunshine, Sabine Beck, coordinating the efforts of Spiritism in Nevada County. Go forward, press on, as says Emmanuel in the book Living Spring, and let's move forward, friend, because Spiritism is of God, yes, not of Caesar, not of Brazilians. It is of the world. And as Divaldo Franco recently said in a private meeting to friends of ours, we better share it in the English language, or we're gonna take the risk of creating another cult. We can't. This message is too beautiful to be kept a secret. It's no secret. It's the good news, and in a world that is struggling with fake news, let's spread the good news, shall we? A big hug of gratitude, a beautiful night or day, wherever you are. And remember, you're a child of God, and we're together in this beautiful collaboration, heart to heart, soul to soul. Until tomorrow, God willing.